How a psycho e-girl got exposed by her 3 boyfriends. The disastrous relationship of BunnyGirlNabi. I have no idea who BunnyGirlNabi is.
From the moment that biological life started taking hold on Earth, and ever since humanity started taking its first steps, men have wanted one thing and one thing only. Woman. But not just any woman, okay?
Or femboy,
one that
I guess.
happens to be an avid video game player while also looking
Ooh.
like this.
Ooh.
You can't deny it, it's just factual truth. Now listen, it might have taken millions and millions of years, but I'm so happy to announce.
I got brekkie again, chat. This is a new day, obviously. Don't like be stupid. Same brekkie though. I feel like I'm living off of like chicken sandwiches because that's the only like thing that I know how to make that's like super easy.
That in the 21st century, not only can you find women like this, but there's actually so many of them that they've been given a name. E-girls. Not only do they play video games, but they're also pretty and have that discount goth girl aesthetic. Due to this, they have managed to clutch society by the balls, having their
Wait, are
own
all e-girls
Wikipedia
goth
page.
girls?
This is the first
Yeah, I didn't
image
know
you
that.
see that represents e-girls. How flattering, right? So it's no surprise.
I thought if you like looked up e-girl, you would see like Belle Delphine or something. Might be wrong
many
though.
people dream of having an e-girl girlfriend to play Valorant with. But here's the thing. Behind the very skillfully applied 5 kilograms of makeup on their face lies
True.
a very dark secret. E-girls have the psychological profile of an unstable serial killer. They could probably easily scoop out your eyeballs while you're sleeping because you messaged another girl the other day.
That's a crazy
Yes,
claim.
even if it was your own mother. And unfortunately, most guys who are infatuated with their aesthetic only find out about this when it's a bit too late, when they're in the clutches of a relationship. And that's exactly what happened with BunnyGirlNabi, a seemingly innocent cosplayer who's
Well, she
being
has 3
exposed for who
boyfriends if
she
I'm
really is
reading the
in
title
private.
correctly.
And typically
That
what
should be
happens
good.
in these situations is that one person who used to be in a relationship with her would probably try to expose her, make a document recounting their experiences. But no, she was allegedly so horrible that 3 of her exes banded up together like the Avengers and co-wrote a document together
Oh.
recounting their
The title is worded like so weird. So it's 3 exes, not her like current 3 boyfriends. That's weird. Okay.
horrendous experiences with her to try and expose her true nature to the world, okay? They assembled together like the Avengers trying to take down Thanos. You know how hard it is to be compared to Thanos? Like, that's an achievement by itself. What set all this off was a tweet on April 21st, 2025 by Keisha saying, "The truth about BunnyGirlNabi, trigger warning, mental abuse, animal abuse, and rape." As you can see, the allegations are enormous. And what makes it worse is that around the time this document was posted, she deactivated her account. This Google Doc, coupled with her response afterwards, are one of the craziest roller coaster rides I've taken in recent memory. In many ways, BunnyGirlNabi is the final boss of e-girls, but her exes, especially one in particular, are the final bosses of e-boys. There's a reason their document got deleted not even one week
They're e-boys
after
too?
publication. It is such a mess, so we have to talk about it. Let's do this. So
they're goth boys.
BunnyGirlNabi is a cosplayer hailing from the land of Belgium. But these days, being a cosplayer can mean 1,000 different things. You can mostly cosplay characters you liked as a kid. You can be mostly focused on video game characters or movie characters, or you can just make it more about your body. In Nabi's case though, there was no question. She knew exactly what she wanted to do. Look, if there was a cosplay handbook on what to do to attract a certain male demographic, she followed it to the teat. Cosplaying extremely generic characters that are very popular, like Mona from Genshin Impact, Nami from One Piece, and of course,
that is
Raven from like Mona from Genshin Impact, Nami.
Is that Nami? I thought she looked more like freaking who is that? The hands lady, Nico Robin. I was about to say Boa Hancock, but I know that's not real. Yep, it's Nico Robin. Look, it's the same freaking chicken jacket. Come on, this guy doesn't even know what he's talking about.
Cosplaying extremely generic characters that are very popular, like Mona from Genshin Impact, Nami from One Piece, and of course, Raven from Teen Titans. A great way to know that you're dealing with an e-girl.
Idiot.
But there's a good chance that you're not aware that in the cosplay scene, there are so
Robin's a woman.
many people who do the same thing. And so even if you're attractive, it's still very hard to stand out. So what did Nabi do? She collabed with the mega massive Minecraft YouTuber by the name of Disastrous. This is a Minecraft YouTuber with almost 11 million subscribers. This is a ridiculous achievement by itself, and collabing with someone like that can literally make your career. Now, I have no idea what his relationship with Nabi is or was, but they collabed together and made a few different YouTube shorts that were actually pretty damn successful. But you're probably asking yourself, what would a cosplayer and a massive Minecraft YouTuber
probably send something in
anyway? Well, feast your eyes on an example. Watch.
Okay.
Dude, what am I doing with my life? Why am I not making content for children? What am I doing wasting my time making content for young adults and adults? Seriously. This has almost 1 million views, okay? But you know what's even better? Their most viewed short together has 48 million views. That is just so ridiculous to me. Anyway, so yeah, it was quite significant, and he was tagging her in every single one in the title, Nabi Cosplay.
Click on
this
it.
is her YouTube channel. Now, her YouTube channel was how she began, making shorts of popular characters she cosplayed, and in them she would say one iconic line relating to the character while music.
2 Genshin
Pretty
Impacts.
simple. But as you can see,
cosplays.
with 4 shorts, she was at 22,000 subscribers. And if you're not familiar with YouTube metrics, that's very impressive. And of course, this was partly because she had appeared in so many shorts with Disastrous. Here's one of her shorts, and as you can see, one of the comments said, "Who came here from her getting cooked by Disastrous?" So it definitely helped. What happened afterwards was a bit of a blur. She kind of abandoned this channel and actually went through a complete rebrand. As you can see from this old banner, she used to go by the handle Nabi Cosplay, with her Twitch being Nana Joestar. She ditched that name entirely and decided to go with BunnyGirlNabi on every platform, including Coffee, where you can spend 30 euros for 12 pictures of her Makima cosplay. Wow, I guess inflation really is getting out of control, huh? Because this is wild. Either way, she even created her own website that links to all her socials, which have now been privated ever since that document about her came out. But look at how innocent her profile looks, okay? Hi, my name is Nabi. I love cosplaying and gaming. Likes? Cats, pink stuff, music, gaming. I mean, seriously,
whoa,
she
no
must be
way.
a perfect human.
She likes music.
She must make no mistakes, right? Oh, right, the document. Okay, well, let's get right into it. How did it all begin? This incident actually started a few days before the document being posted by one of her 3 exes, which is Lazar. On April 18th, 2025, he tagged BunnyGirlNabi's Twitter and said, "I know you will read this, and no, I don't give a fuck. You will get cooked tomorrow." Then he proceeded to tag some pretty well-known figures in the cosplaying community on Twitter specifically, right? Anything ranging from 10,000 followers to 1 million followers, saying, "She talked so much shit behind you guys and was an insane hater." I mean, you see something like this and you think, like, what?
Also, I might sue you because you didn't follow the contract we bought signed.
What's next? Well, she just deactivated her account on Twitter the next day. And Lazar said, "The fact she deactivated both accounts before I provided any proper proof already tells you everything. She is cooked." But of course, they didn't post anything else on April 19th. They took more time to finish off the document. At 4:45 p.m. European time on April 21st, Nabi would post this in her Discord saying, "A certain someone from the past has been trying to expose me. I will be addressing that tomorrow. Please don't take sides before knowing both sides of the story." And around 2 hours and 15 minutes later, Keisha would post the document. But Nabi would respond almost immediately. Now, yes, you think, Mujin, how? She deactivated her account. Well, she used her alt account, BunnyGirlNabi 2, and replied to this document with this tweet saying, "I will be responding to this tomorrow. Just think twice before you believe anything an ex of mine says." Well, Nabi, it wasn't just one ex, it was 3 of them banding up together trying to take you down. So what the hell is in this document? Well, guys, I hope that you're mentally prepared because we're about to dive right in.
I'm mentally prepared.
The document's titled Exposing Nabi, and it starts off saying this. "Hey everyone, a bit of an unusual tweet this time. Today we are exposing and talking about a semi-big cosplayer called Nabi. Me and Lazar, 2 of some of her exes writing this, wanted to share our and others' experience with being her partner or friend. There are multiple points we want to talk about and share." Now the list is already incredible, okay? Social media and backstabbing, number 1. Number 2, scamming. Number 3, Sudoku bait. I can't say the actual word.
Oh, that's rough, man.
Number 4, animal abuse. Number 5,
I've had a friend like that would like Sudoku bait. It was so mentally exhausting trying to be there for them, but it just felt like they were keeping you hostage. Like it didn't feel like that all the time, but there's like a point, you know, where they do it so often that it just feels like they're doing it just because they don't want you to like leave. It's so weird. And it took a lot of courage, at least from my point of view, to actually walk out of that relationship because I didn't want to be responsible, you know? But I felt like I wasn't. I don't know how they're doing now. I'm pretty sure they still haven't committed Sudoku. But man, that was a rough time. I did not like that at all.
Manipulation. Number 6, sexual abuse. Number 7, cheating. Number 8, other weird things. What else could other weird things be compared to the 7 ones before? Starting off with number 1, social media and backstabbing. Nabi is a cosplayer from Belgium and recently started gaining a lot of followers on X. Before, she used to go by Nana Joestar on X. On X, she started posting cosplays, which aren't bad, but aren't anything special either. All right, I can tell there's some resentment there. Let's continue. Looking at the people she follows, you see a lot of other cosplayers, some smaller ones, some bigger ones, and even some large ones. Some do SFW only, some do slight NSFW or have an OF as well. If you look at especially the ones she is mutuals with, interacts with, you would think that she's the typical girl's girl, supporting other female cosplayers because that's just a normal thing to do. But sadly, this is just a mask she puts on to gain popularity and good relations with people online. Behind their back, she makes fun of them, judging their bodies, judging the way they edit their pics at all, and calling a lot of them sluts. For this, we provided 2 example screenshots showing the quoted message, not the original ones because she deactivated all her accounts before Lazar could take a screenshot of it. Wait. You guys wrote this document over the course of I don't know how long, and Lazar didn't think to take screenshots of these DMs before calling her out publicly on Twitter saying they'll ruin her?
That seems weird.
This is already off to a great start.
That seems really...
In the text, she has actively harassing cosplayer It's Sin.
That's weird.
She cosplays and poses. Calling someone a slut even though you pose similarly and reveal your body as well is really concerning and pretty two-faced if you ask me, and saying that someone looks retarded is weird. During the time she dated Lazar, she has done this with other cosplayers like Dolphalt, Merzweb, Brunari, Laurence, and a lot more. Like I already said, we can't provide any proof of the other cosplayers until she reactivates her account. Dude, come on, man.
That's weird. But again, why would they be lying, right? Why would their entire backbone of the argument of not having screenshots depend on her actually deactivating her account? Like, it could be easily disproven the second she reactivates her account, which if she wants to disprove them, she just needs to reactivate her account. And if they don't provide any screenshots from that point on, then they're lying, right? So I don't think they're lying. It's just really weird that they didn't screenshot anything before they decided to call her out. That seems... like really stupid behavior.
This is already starting off really sloppy, but let's give them the benefit of the doubt here. There are a couple screenshots. Let's check them out. In the first one, you can see Lazar replying to something that Nabi had said, which is, lol, average Twitter slut, I knew she'd become like this too, linking a tweet from It's Sin. One of the cosplayers, they were saying that Nabi was being two-faced to. And in the other screenshot, it's the same thing. It's Lazar replying to a message by Nabi in which she calls Sin retarded. And that's all the proof they have about her talking directly behind other cosplayers' backs. The document then continues, saying, while always talking shit about some of the many cosplayers she follows do NSFW, she also developed into this direction, posting revealing cosplays, especially a recent one which got deleted, cosplaying as Yumeko from the anime Kakegurui, holding a gambler necklace in front of her private part while spreading her legs open. Wait, really? Wait, let's see if we can find it. Of course. Oof. Support to unlock. So she didn't really delete it, more like tease it and then kind of ask for support. Let's see, how much does it cost? 20 euros per month. Yeah, you know what? I'd rather use that money to buy a McChicken because with the way inflation's going, that's how much it's going to cost soon. Thanks. But I guess the whole idea so far is that they're trying to illustrate her as a hypocrite. She shames people who do NSFW, but she's slowly treading along that path. But based on what was said in the intro, this is probably one of the least worrying things in this entire document. Anyway, they continue. In conclusion, if you are a cosplayer and she followed you, be aware that she trash talked you or called you a hoe/whore at some point because you post yourself online. During the time I dated her, so this isn't Lazar, it's Keisha. Especially in the on and off phase I had with her from January 2024 until July 2024, she always called girls sluts for showing even an ounce of body. This happened in Discord calls, so I can't prove this, but with the proof you already have, you can quite imagine it. He then links 2 screenshots.
I'm not gonna imagine it. That's weird.
Nabi. In the first one, you can see
Show
her
proof,
saying,
man.
not to be cocky, but it's always the regular girls going viral, to which he says, I'm born to be a hater. Nabi, I swear you look way too good. And then she says, I'm a born hater. No, but for real, I'm a really big hater. You will see IRL, I always have something to say. Now, look at this, okay? This is the second screenshot. It's Keisha replying to a message from Nabi in which she says, why do so many transgenders, male to female, have OnlyFans? And he replies with, because it's a kink. I can't say that word on YouTube. It's a sexual preference. And here's what the caption says. Here is another screenshot. Could be transphobia. Bro, she's asking a question and you're calling it a kink. The caption also says, and also a born hater? Question mark? Implying that what she said was bad. 2 messages before she said that, you said, I'm born to be a hater. What the hell is happening?
Bro.
Is this a joke? Okay, wait a second. Maybe this is just all a bunch of terrible people trying to expose each other. Maybe. Wait, let's see. Anyway,
hey,
he continues,
if you want to
before
air out the
persona,
dirty
she's the
laundry,
only
let's
person on
air out
Instagram
the
and TikTok
dirty
being quite
laundry,
huge in the
bros.
Belgian cosplay community. She
Come
thought
on,
no one could
expose
beat
these
her,
guys too.
basically being really narcissistic.
I just don't
talking shit
care.
about other cosplayers, calling
Screw
them ugly
it.
and fat was a thing I was hearing every day. At some point, I stopped listening to her ranting about it. In these DMs, you can see her saying, I'm crying now. She posts 4 tweets with selfies each with 3 minutes in between and they all get so many likes. How is she so lucky and I'm not? And in these screenshots she provides in those DMs, it's her, I guess, talking to the cosplayer in question. She said, nothing lol, I'm shadow banned as fuck. To which the cosplayer replies with, aw. And then Nabi says, yeah lol, it's so depressing. And that's actually a trend you'll be finding with Nabi a lot. She's convinced that she's shadow banned and that's the reason why she's not successful. Here's her TikTok when she was at 47,000 followers. This was fairly recent, okay? Look at her bio. IRL dress up darling, lazy, socials, okay? This was her profile at 49.5k followers and the first thing you see in her bio is shadow banned as fuck crying emoji. So look, we don't really need the document to tell us this, but she seems to be the kind of person that blames everyone but herself for her failures. Anyway, the document continues, and now we're in the second part, scamming. As you know, most cosplayers have a way to donate money to them. Platforms like Patreon, Ko-fi, and Throne. First, we will take a look at her Throne. Throne is a platform where you as a creator can create a wish list of things you want. You can add things, in this case cosplays, and even custom things like tips as well. The issue with Throne is that people do not actually buy a cosplay. They are basically buying the option away, and the creator just receives the money. This is a thing Nabi is doing.
Oh, that's weird.
She always posts about funding for a cosplay, but never ends up buying that cosplay and just keeps the money in her pocket. In my opinion, this is a scam, but not something really bad. You know what, guys? I can confirm this. There's not a lot on my own wish list. There's only the Lube Life water-based personal lubricant, 275 gallons sex lube for men, women, and couples. But unfortunately, it's fully sold out. I don't know who bought the whole thing on Amazon, but as you can see on the bottom right here, it says payout, which means I'd be receiving the money and it's up to me to buy it on my own time. You're not actually shipping 275 gallons of lube to my tiny Parisian apartment, okay? But anyway, I do think that if you're actually saying that you want to cosplay something, fundraising an outfit, someone buys it for you and you just pocket the money, that is pretty bad. Her whole shtick is that she's a cosplayer, right? Imagine if a VTuber says, hey guys, let's fundraise a new model for $2,000. They get the money, pocket it, and then pretend that nothing happened. That would be pretty scammy. What I find hilarious here is that her saying that she's a natural born hater carried more weight in this document than this, her scamming actual people, with the author saying this isn't something really bad. Like, what? But it gets worse. The bad things will be shown now. Wait, nothing bad was shown so far? Anyway, he continues, Ko-fi is another platform similar to Patreon where users can buy a membership and also tip a creator. Benefits for the membership are having access to private photo sets of her cosplays. In these, she posts the exact same pictures she posts on her social media as well. If she posts a cosplay of a character, it will be 2 pictures, and a week later, it will be 2 different pictures from the same character, meaning that she posted her set online already. This is the low tier of her Ko-fi. The other tier basically gives you permission to text her. Usually she will just be really dry and leave you undelivered, unless you want to give/tip her more money. And here's where it gets interesting. Look at this screenshot right here. It's Keisha saying, I hope so, and her saying, yeah. Yesterday, I made 500 euros by scamming some dude on Ko-fi saying I can't afford a diagnosis for my chronic illness and he felt bad for me.
Okay.
In case you wonder where I get so much money, I'm just really good at convincing people to give me money. I can prove it all. No flirting or anything. Now I can get a really nice laptop for school. To which she replies with, what the fuck? Did she actually thought she was flexing?
What the fuck?
Like, yeah, bro, I just made 500 bucks, baby. Scammed his bitch ass. And I love the part where she's like, hey, I didn't
Fucking
flirt or
yoinked
anything.
all
I
that
can
shit,
prove
bro.
it."
You
It's
don't
like,
need
that's
that.
not the problem, you dumbass. That's not the issue. The document then continues. This is a screenshot I took in May/June 2024. Here she was saying she scammed a guy so she could afford a diagnosis for a chronic illness she already had diagnosed as a child. Shortly after I took the screenshot, the chats got deleted for me and her. Now that is a healthy relationship right there. He continues, another benefit is getting a shout out on social media. She has never shouted out anyone who bought this tier. Now we're back to the other ex, Lazar. Lazar and her planned a Korea trip for months. Everything was booked already. In December 2024, Nabi booked the flights for herself and Lazar, even while knowing he did not have the money for the flight. On February 2025, Lazar's parents gave her the money for Lazar's flight. About 2 weeks after receiving the money, Nabi suddenly did not want to go to Korea anymore. Telling Lazar this pretty often, but still tweeting about being excited about Korea on her alt account, Nabi loves Lazar, now kisses Nabi X. Those accounts don't exist anymore, by the way. I think they got converted to whatever account she's using today to respond to these allegations. He continues, a week before the flight should have happened, beginning of April, Nabi officially canceled going to Korea. She apparently had a high bill that needed to be paid off immediately. Her grandparents also offered her about 500 euros to not go to Korea, basically covering the bill. From my perspective, it looks like Nabi canceled both flights and the Airbnb way before and already had the money from the flights back. Money from Lazar's parents and her grandparents as well, but I cannot confirm if she actually got back the money from the flights. From everything I know so far, we know that she got 1,100 euros from Lazar's parents and 500 euros from a guy she scammed on coffee, meaning we are at 1,600 euros that are 100% known so far. And now we talk about the third ex involved in this document. Going way back to the year 2023 now, she was dating a guy. Due to privacy reasons, I will not mention his name, gave her a lot of money. You can see Instagram DMs with that guy, with him saying, you wanted to move, so I did everything I could to make it happen, which didn't work. Then I paid 2,100 euros for your rent, so you can survive all while I was by your side the entire time. Bro, 2,100 euros for rent? What is she living in?
Dude, that's like $1
man?
million.
Oh my God. Anyway, she replies with, you really don't care about our friendship anymore? Just say yes and you won't hear from me again. Then she sends a video and says, these were your gifts in case you want to know. I'll throw some away and use some myself because I don't want to entirely waste how much I spent on everything. I will never forgive you. You will get your money soon. Don't worry. Again, just a very healthy, love-filled relationship. This is ridiculous. The document continues. One of her exes always mentioned that they were friends only, gave her 2,100 euros in order for her to pay rent and survive. Nabi went to university at this time, gets money from the Belgian government to this day, around 300 to 500 euros from her mother, and another 100 euros from her grandparents, so there is no way that she cannot afford rent. Her ex never got his money back to this day. We are ending this with a known total of 3,700 euros, which he scammed from people. I'm guessing that there's more, but there's no way of proving it. All right, so right off the bat, talks crazy about
3,700 euros.
scams like she was
$3 million.
Okay, more effortlessly than you can imagine, and we're only getting started. Part 3, Sudoku bait. Out of the known 3 guys she was dating, she has attempted to commit Sudoku.
This might be uncomfortable for me to watch.
At least once. For me, her first attempt was in March 2022. The second attempt was with her other ex around October 2023. The third attempt was with Lazar in November 2024. We all saved her from it. For me, her reasons were being ugly and doing bad in school. For her second try, it was her mom officially disowning her. Can't tell if this actually happened. For her third try with Lazar, her reason was that Lazar wanted to break up with her because she stated herself that she was faking a different personality after he got back home from visiting her. All these tries were done with medication, which we do not know the name of. These Sudoku baits traumatized all 3 of us, especially when you already suffer from bad mental health or it being done when you are young. I was 17 when this happened. So obviously this is a very heavy topic, but if you do it every single time you're in a relationship, it seems manipulative. And according to this document, they somehow saved her every single time. So it doesn't make her look any better in the grand scheme of this document, but we still haven't heard her side of the story. Either way, it's an absolute mess.
Let's hear her side, bro.
You still want to date an e-girl? I hope not. Anyway, part 4. Animal abuse. Okay, this actually is pretty serious, okay? This is not fun in any way. Nabi has a cat named Jojo. The boy cat is almost 3 years old. She got him when he was a small kitten. The previous owners did not chip him and also haven't sent him to a vet, so the poor cat was suffering from worms in his body, resulting in him almost dying. Nabi was a complete idiot. Also didn't take him to the vet at first, was mad that he did not want to eat because he was sick, worms making him poop a lot, so she ended up locking him up in her shower for an entire night so she wouldn't have to deal with him. In Discord calls between me and her, she often stated that she will kill him if he does not get better fast and stop screaming because of his pain, saying things like how she'll throw him out the window, smashing him against the wall, etc. Bro, what the hell did I just read, man?
Yeesh.
What is this? Everything else can be, to an extent, excused. But this, if it's true, send her to prison. 10 years minimum sentence, man. What the hell? Part 5, manipulation.
But there's no
This
proof.
is nothing compared to part 4, bro.
But,
The
like,
document says dating
damn.
Nabi is difficult. You don't say. Even when you get to know her, entering a talking stage, she will lie about pretty much everything. Lying is a normal thing to do. A bad past is also normal. But lying about dating people, how they treated you, lying about your entire past basically shouldn't be a thing. Nabi love bombs a lot, wants you to be obsessed with her and not do anything else. She also has a victim complex. You do something wrong, it's your fault. You do it right, she will still be negative about it and play the victim again. She will tell you that you can hang out with friends, but when you do, she ends up being angry at you and makes you feel bad for leaving her. Basically, you are the person doing all the mistakes and she will make you feel that way. You can't have a discussion with her. You also can't criticize her. If you wanted to break up with her, she would hint Sudoku again. So it was difficult to escape because you feel like you'd be the reason for her shit. So this is the same ex, I think, who gave her 2,100 euros. And in this huge wall of text, he's pretty much complaining that she's stonewalling him. She's not talking to him anymore because he played games with someone else and told him,
Dude, you can't have a discussion with her. You can't criticize her. If you wanted to break up with her, she would. Okay. I just got too boring, silent, and depressed for and because of you. I was ready to put you first over anyone the entire time, but after some time, I noticed I wasn't your first choice. So now that I played with someone else a lot while you still couldn't or didn't want to play with me, you got really pissed because I didn't tell you about them and left for another time, third time, just when you started to get better too, so I don't get too happy with you. And now you want to tell me that I'm the one who doesn't care and blame me for saying you'll never forgive me? That's delusional. I tried everything I did, but at some point I should be thinking about myself and my own mental state too. I'm not saying anything yet, and I will need a lot of more time to sort things out and handle with the trauma I got and the depression. Don't blame me for fucking any of this or you. This is so hard to read. Don't blame me for fucking any of this or you won't ever hear from me again. I'm also just a human doing what I can. I gave my soul, time, effort, money, everything you ever wanted, and all I had, and still did these things to me. You can hate me all you want, I did what I can.
that because of that, he clearly doesn't care and she'll never forgive him. He's saying that he tried everything. And speaking of hell, let's check the next section out. Number 6, sexual abuse. Lazar and I share similar experiences. I had my first time.
So her
with Nabi
first
when we
and
first
third
met.
ex-boyfriend.
Before we first met, I was with my family on vacation. We already had talks about meeting up. Nabi is a hypersexual person a lot of the time when you were dating her, so of course she asked if you could have sex. I was unsure since it was my first time back then and she was also the first girlfriend I ever had. I told her I'm not sure about it. She got pissed. We came to an agreement. If she came over and I ended up not wanting to have sex with her, she would be hella pissed, possibly breaking up. If I have intercourse with her, she is happy and will probably stay together. Obviously, I didn't want to lose my first girlfriend that fast, so I ended up agreeing when we met.
First girlfriend, how old are you, bro?
Bed, she randomly started touching my private parts without really asking beforehand, but in the end I didn't refuse. I just felt uncomfortable the entire time. Side note, after her first Sudoku attempt, she started having severe memory loss and did not remember having any intercourse with me at all. So she doesn't actually know that she did this. Bro, can this story get any crazier? Seriously. Anyway, the document goes on. Lazar had a similar experience. Before their first time meeting up, Lazar was already sure he did not want to have sex with her when meeting her for the first time. She did not like the way Lazar was thinking and said, "You can forget coming over if you do not want to have sex with me." So Lazar agreed, because he also just wanted to see his girlfriend. When Lazar met her IRL, he was still unsure about it, so she kept pushing it, like flashing him her breasts, and started grabbing his private parts. Hey, listen, I know this might sound good to some of you watching, but reverse the roles, okay? Reverse the roles. Imagine if a guy flashed his you-know-what, okay? All right? The document continues. This is just insane behavior. I would not call it rape, but it's a horrible way to manipulate someone. At some point, she was asexual with Lazar. He respected it. She got mad because he did not beg for intercourse. What kind of behavior is this? And if you did not want to have intercourse with her, she would think you don't find her attractive and that you hate her, basically manipulating you again. Now look, I did talk about reversing the roles, so I'm gonna be fair like I always am. All of this sounds terrible, but of course we have no proof. Would I be surprised if it was true based on the rest of the document? Hell no. But we also can't assume that it's 100% the truth. But it's a bit different here though, because we have two people saying the same thing, so it does add a bit more weight to it. On to the next section. 7, cheating. This is really just everything, right? Like everything that could go wrong in a relationship is in this document right here.
Yeah.
Nabi and I have been on and off from November 2021 until July 2024.
3 years.
After her Sudoku attempt, she became more distant after
What
she
the
got out of
heck?
the hospital. Her mom became an alcoholic. My guess it was to cope her daughter's Sudoku attempt. Around April 2022, she started going to parties, getting hard drunk, posting stories with people, and ended up blocking me from viewing her Instagram stories. A week after my birthday, in May 2022, I found a guy she was following, saw him and her kissing, and in a different story, she was on her knees half naked in front of him. Fast forward, I forgave her for it after she tried playing it off, saying she got drugged and raped by him.
Okay.
I don't know if this is the truth, but considering the way she was towards me, I do not quite believe that this is the truth, but I do not want to make any conclusions here. Oh my god. By the way, if you couldn't tell, I'm just laughing at how ridiculous this all is, okay? But I would assume that if someone were to drug a woman and try to take advantage of her, he wouldn't post it on his Instagram for everyone to see. The document continues. Sometime in 2023, she was dating a guy. The guy who gave her 2,100 euros. She cheated on him as well with one of his friends. So this is again the same guy, the third.
And I expect me to just be like, hey, yeah, let's be friends. You cheated on me with my friend and Tom told me that you don't have any affection for anyone at the time while texting with him and playing with him all the time. You called me your housewife and you're the husband who gets his dick sucked by other women, then got back with me, still showing me no affection at all while I tried to give you the whole world, then broke up with me just like my ex did, gave me trust issues and trauma, was probably texting with blank at the time. You were still with me. I don't want to know, to be honest. Then got with blank and outweigh more effort into him while he gave barely any fucks. He still complained to me all the time and I still got you tins of gifts during that time, then left again because I got sad from how much effort you put into him and nothing left for me. Also had to find out myself that you were dating someone else after you lied to me many times, treating me like shit the entire time and left me on my own while I was struggling. Then it was your birthday and I put my soul into it.
X, right? And in this huge wall of text, you can
So
see
this is
him
the first
complain about the
boyfriend,
fact that she wouldn't
the
show
one that we don't know the name of.
for him. So situations like that, unfortunately. Right, we made it especially with e-girls. I think it's safe to say that she never really loved him. All right, we made it to the end, guys. Congrats. The last section is titled Other Weird Things, and it says, while being with her, other things also happened. Okay, what kind of things? The first thing is she is obsessed with Hitler. Yeah, Hitler. Who are you dating, man? Kanye West? Wow, off to a great start. What's the second one? She said the N-word multiple times in Discord comments. She's transphobic sometimes as a joke from what she says. She hates when you use the wrong pronouns of a video game character. Wait, aren't those two usually conflicting? That's kind of random. Okay. She got fake boobs during the time she got sent 2,100 euros. Rent, by the way. She gets lip fillers, not that weird. She got fillers for wrinkles, she is 20. She makes fun of girls getting the same stuff, fake boobs, fillers, etc. So getting the same things doesn't make sense. She doesn't have IRL friends because she backstabs them, talked to some of her ex-friends. Well, it would have been nice to have what they had to say in the document because so far it kind of feels incomplete. Anyway, he goes on. She reads yaoi hentai manga but would hate you if you watch normal romance anime. Oh, you can find plenty of people like that on Twitter. She would hate you if you get mouse pads with girls on it. She would make you mute girls in game. She would make you not have any friends. Yes, isolation. It's a proper manipulation tactic, of course. She has an unhealthy obsession with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, even though she didn't watch or read it.
Okay,
That's
weird.
She also used to like yaoi shit with underage looking Genshin Impact characters, good old times when Twitter likes were public. Are there any underage looking characters in Genshin that are male? Anyway, that's definitely random and like this entire section there's no proof. She hates you when you do good in games. Damn, I guess she would hate me. Fuck. She is boosted in any game that has a ranked system and flexes her rank. That's just an e-girl. You watch anime that's not Death Note or JoJo, you are weird. Okay, bro, seriously, let's take a step back here. What the hell is this? How did we go from criminal allegations to like children bickering? This entire section is useless, bro. Like, what the hell is this? He goes on and says, she edits her posts and bots her followers on every social media platform. Cringe. Newsflash, every cosplayer edits their images. Sorry to disappoint you. And botting followers doesn't mean much when you don't have proof. Next, he says, she was hiding the fact that she bought X Premium and played it off that someone gifts it to her. No one does that. Be for real. Is this really the best you can come up with? Like, seriously. No,
is it called X Premium? Twitter Premium? I don't know.
No, this is actually ridiculously bad. Anyway, conclusion. Nabi is a horrible person, both as a partner and a friend. She does not deserve any platform and should be kept off the internet. She hurt too many people without realizing it was always her fault. She always plays the victim and would even do it after this post. You shouldn't be mutuals with just anyone. There are way more.
I'll be honest,
the
last section kind of weakens the whole document, because why are you saying this right now? This whole section made me kind of weirded out about every other thing. Like, why would you say these things? Like these have no substance at all.
This, okay,
whatever.
It's her fault. She always plays the victim and would even do it after this post. You shouldn't be mutuals with just anyone. There are way more things we could put into this. This is just a fraction of the things she has done. We do not want to harm her in any way with this, but we hope for her to get the professional help she needs. Deactivating and privating won't change your actions as well. So as you can see, this was quite the roller coaster. But I'm going to be completely honest, even though yes, she does seem to be an absolutely deranged human being, this document could have been written in a way better way, and if it wasn't for their sloppy work, more proof could have been included. At the same time, in the conclusion, they say this is just a fraction of the things she has done, so if you're really
put it in
worried
here.
about her actions, then why not talk about everything? Like, if you ever needed an example of what not to do when writing a Google Doc, this is probably it. But here's the reality. The allegations and the proof provided in this document were enough for some people in the cosplaying scene to want to cut off contact from Nabi permanently. On the initial document tweet by Keisha, you can scroll down and see one of the cosplayers that Nabi was insulting behind their back, tagging 4 different cosplayers of varying sizes that follow her, saying, "Hey girlies, I'm not mutuals with all of you, but I think you should see this. One of our mutual cosplay friends is backstabbing all of us, / a terrible person. It's pretty bad." These were people that she was trying to build bridges with in order to further her own career, and now all of a sudden they all unfollowed her and want nothing to do with her. This is a stain that's going to follow her for the rest of her life unless she does something about it, and that's exactly what she hoped to do, saying that she was going to respond to this the next day. One of her exes and one of the co-writers of that document we just read, Lazar, screenshotted her tweet and had this to say: "You have 4 exes who all shared similar experiences with 4 fucking people, plus all your IRL friends left you already before because you stabbed them in the back. You have 0 long-lasting friendships or relationships because you always end up doing the same fucking shit for years." So he wasn't having it, and he didn't want anyone else.
Did she respond though? Let's see it.
Redeem herself.
Let's see the response.
But even with all of that effort, that didn't stop her, and she actually did end up posting her response in the form of a Google Doc the next day in this tweet saying, "My response to Keyjax and Lazar." Guys, if you thought that we were already on a roller coaster so far, get ready, because this roller coaster is about to go underground. Let's do this. So this document's actually pretty well organized. She took the time to respond to every single section individually and had a lot of receipts at the end of the document. She starts off with the social media and backstabbing section, saying, "Lazar wanted me to hate It's Sin because she is Albanian and he is Serbian." He coerced me into hating her. No matter what you do, you just can't avoid the Balkan Wars, dude. The Balkan Wars always find you. Oh my god.
Is this some kind of like a
always shame
thing?
Only creators and NSFW accounts. However, I will take responsibility for this because I said the words, not him. I'm sorry for what I said. I would take it all back if I could. I realized that the relationship with Lazar had a negative influence on me and my character. I became someone I didn't want to be, and that's why I broke up with him. Whoa, wait a second. You were the one who broke up with Lazar? Keisha's document specified that if they had tried to break up with her, she would just do Sudoku bait. Lazar specifically made it out to be that he was the one who broke up with her, but she's saying that she broke up with him, so we already have a discrepancy.
Conflicting
effects. The last month, I did a lot of self-reflection and have been trying to be a better person, even going to therapy, reaching out to old connections that I've lost, apologizing, and taking accountability for my past behavior. Guys, she would go back in time and take it all back if she could. Wow. That therapist must be performing miracles or something. Anyway, she continues, "I never spoke ill of the other mentioned content creators, and I do not know why they were brought up. In fact, I was very excited when Laurence followed me back and sent her a message about it. I am not transphobic or anything of the sort. My friends can confirm this." But you have friends? I thought you backstabbed all of them. Wait, which friends? Yeah. "I have been part of the LGBT community since I was 12 years old and even defended trans people
she's
so
gay.
hard to Lazar that we got into very heated arguments. I can
Or
only
lesbian,
imagine what these arguments
or
must have
bi,
looked like.
or trans.
Anyway, she ends this by saying, why my relationship with sex work is so bad. Since I started cosplaying shortly after I turned 17, I've been harassed so often and been begged to do NSFW. This kept going on for the past years. This has caused me to develop a hatred towards it. However, I take responsibility for talking poorly about people who create this kind of content, and I'm sorry for doing this. The lines between sex workers and sex work started blurring for me since I'm very influenced by others' opinions, but I've been actively educating myself more on this topic, trying to be more open-minded and working on myself. You know what, that's probably true because only 6 days ago, she posted her Yumeko cosplay in which she had her legs open with an object blocking her private parts. So you know what, maybe she is actually reformed when it comes to this. But now get ready because here comes the juicy part, scamming. As a student who is completely independent from her family, money is always tight and sometimes I have to use the money I got from Throne for bills. I'm sure many can relate to this. However, I try to still get the cosplays they got for me when I have more financial freedom. As for my coffee, I post photos there that have not been posted on social media as well as ones that have been posted. I reply to people who DM me on coffee, but I do not respond to NSFW. As for the shout out, I will shout out the person if they want that, and never have I gotten asked to do this. Most people prefer to stay anonymous. The screenshot of me saying I scammed someone. This person is aware I purchased a laptop for school instead of doing the diagnosis. This can be proven per request. What is this, bro? Fucking auction house per request? Please
Dude,
email me for a quotation on the price of this apartment.
Put it on the document, man.
Show it.
Yeah.
She
Is there like a
continues,
limit
I said what I
to what
said
you can
because
put
I
in the
was being
freaking
accused of
document?
sex work, which was incorrect. I apologize for how I worded it. This was definitely not something I am proud of. Okay, not a single word in this entire section in that document ever implied she did NSFW stuff to get the money, okay? This is just her saying she scammed some dude and got 500 euros, okay? That's a really shitty thing to do. And unless she provides the proof that is her request, I'm just gonna assume that she did it and she's not even apologetic. She then continues, I owe money to X, which is the guy who gave her 2,100 euros for her rent, which ended up being her boob job, I guess. She continues, this is a large amount which I haven't been able to pay back because I'm a student living alone on funds. I have not forgotten. My family members are aware of this as well, and they are very keen on repaying debts. Then she talks about her Korea trip with Lazar, saying, I canceled the trip because I didn't feel safe to go anymore. Lazar showed very aggressive behavior towards me before the trip. This made me feel unsafe. My family confided in me that it was not smart to go on this trip since my relationship with Lazar was very unstable, and being in a different continent with him would be a bad idea in case things go wrong. I never got the money back. I didn't scam him, and I don't owe him any money. I also lost 700 plus euros from this trip. The trip was non-refundable. I tried getting the money back when we were still together, but it was impossible. As you can see below, I tried to get the money back through PayPal, which did not work. The airlines company sent me a document that showed that the flights could not be refunded. I also showed screenshots of my bank and PayPal to prove that I didn't get any money back. Conclusion, I didn't get the money back. I don't owe anything to Lazar or his family. So in order to refund a trip, she filed a case through PayPal against the airline. I mean, usually when you do this on PayPal, it's because the seller scammed you. That's not how you do things, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, they said, dear customer, please find the attached file for more information. Oh, so she tried to contact them, and when they said no, she tried to raise a case on PayPal. They said customer has already contacted Brussels Airlines and has been informed about cancellation policy, about no possibility for route and name change. Okay, so she actually didn't get the money back at all, and she tried to get a refund. See how cool proof is? It can change everything. I'm glad that this image wasn't given based on request, okay? It was just given in the document.
Yeah, like why would the other thing be request? That's so weird.
Down below, you can see actual medical reports of me being hospitalized for attempted Sudoku, see screenshot. As for me getting disowned, the reason I live off support funds is because my mother stopped helping me financially and still does not do that. Neither does my dad. This is also written in the medical reports. Okay, so the first image is just like a blood test, but what really interests us is the second image, and the whole thing is in Dutch. Of course, she couldn't be from the French-speaking part of Belgium. But here it specifies overdosis. And here you can see February, and apparently tweede poging is second
Sir,
attempt.
I'm not laughing. It's just look the words look weird to me, man. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing. Okay.
Overdosis. And here you can see February, and apparently tweede poging is second attempt. That proves this was her second attempt. And geen contact meer met ouders means no contact with parents, proves that my mother caught me off. Now this is really interesting because in the initial document exposing her, it specified that they all saved her from it. But I guess saved her in what sense? If she actually attempted and failed, did they really have anything to do with that? Or was it just the fact that she failed? Someone here is very wrong, and I'm actually going to go with her exes because she provided medical records. So how did they save her exactly? It doesn't really add up. Things are getting interesting. Then we get to the animal abuse, which was probably my least favorite part to read in that other document, in which she says, I have literal proof of me bringing my cat to the vet one day after getting him. I adopted Jojo on the 9th of October, and I brought him on the 10th of October to the vet, as you can see in the screenshot below. Everyone who knows me knows how much I love my cat Jojo. He is literally my child and my everything. He is like my support animal. I sleep with him laying next to my pillow every day. We watch TV together, we eat together. I literally get anxious when I'm not with him. I think this is a very low blow from Lazar because he witnessed firsthand how I felt when I was without Jojo and visiting him. And this is an image, I guess, with worm medicine at the vet. So good news, no animals were harmed in the making of this video, I guess, hopefully, maybe.
I think you can easily fake those, right?
5, manipulation. As for the manipulation, I recommend you check this.
Like you can easily fake the
I admit
dates,
to not being the best partner
but it's
for
fine.
my exes, but that is something in the past that is heavily influenced by
It looks like it's still a kitten, so.
Oh, is it really? I, however, take responsibility for everything since I made my own choices and controlled my own behavior. I apologize for how I have treated you, and I am working on becoming a better partner for my future relationship. Doesn't really seem like a full apology to me, but we'll see those screenshots below later. Now comes the sexual abuse claim. She says, I am denying all rape allegations. I did not rape anyone. I did not.
They didn't ever allegate her to
sex with me. I would never do such a thing. As a victim of rape, I could never do this to
allegate.
anyone. I never
Is that a word?
anyone's
I don't know.
private parts or anything of the sort without any consent. Then she says, I indeed felt asexual a bit into the relationship with Lazar because of a reason I won't share out of respect. What does that even mean? I don't recall getting mad at him for not asking me for sexual stuff. I simply found it strange since before I felt this way, he would constantly ask for nudes, etc. 1 to 2 months prior to this, he also made it clear that I had to continue sexually pleasing him. See screenshots below. Oh boy. Also, I did not want him to resort to pornography, so I continued to sexually please him for a while before telling him about my true feelings. You know, I could be wrong here, but this doesn't sound like asexuality at all. This just sounds like her falling out of love with him, not being attracted to him anymore. Those are two very different things, right? But anyway, let's move on. Number 7, cheating. After my suicide attempt, I didn't remember much from how I was feeling before I did it, so I resorted to trying to escape my home situation by going out more often with friends. I cheated because of the state of my home at the time. I needed somewhere to go since I was young, 17, and desperate and needed a place to stay. I made a bad choice. I won't explain this fully since this is private, but I do not excuse the fact that I cheated. I take full responsibility for this. I was raped in a foreign country by the same person who offered me a home. Also, this person was 19 or 20 years old while I was 17, right? We can just assume this is true.
Come on.
But how does that explain the cheating? It doesn't. Like I'm sorry you got raped, but how does that have to do with anything?
And you're 17.
I don't understand. No one's mad that you got raped. What about the cheating? Oh my god. Anyway, here we go. Other weird things. Are you guys ready? Because I'm not. I'm not obsessed with Hitler. I want ist wieder da because I found it interesting and funny to see Hitler in the present day. Yeah, I think that's a movie in which like someone dresses up as him and goes around waving to people and he gets positive responses. Sure. I did not say the N-word. However, funnily enough, the people who say I have a history of saying it. I am not transphobic, have been a part of the LGBTQ since I was 12, and this can be confirmed by many. Who exactly? I have no idea. First, you say I'm transphobic. Then you say that I can't stand when you misgender someone. You literally prove that I'm not transphobic. Yeah, sure, those two things aren't very consistent with each other, but it doesn't mean they can't be true. She then says that she didn't do a boob job and that can be proven. How? I don't know. I have no idea. She then adds, I indeed have lip fillers. I do not have fillers for wrinkles. I do not make fun of girls who get cosmetic treatments or procedures. Yeah, no, I don't know about that last one, okay? The way she was talking behind those cosplayers' backs, I could totally see her doing this. I'm sorry. I do have IRL friends. The person you're talking about can confirm this. So she's saying that her ex-friends can confirm the fact that she has IRL friends. I wonder what they have to say. In a relationship, I do not consume pornographic content, and I expect the same of my partner. I am, however, not against my partner consuming romance. Lazar was against me consuming romance. At the time of dating him, I consumed 2 romance shows, My Demon and Paradise Kiss, and he seemed to not approve of this. Dude, no, this is actually us just seeing like how children conduct themselves in relationships. True. I feel uncomfortable. These people are not.
I get why she had to include this section because they included it, so she has to address every single thing.
Against my boyfriend, but man, this is just with an anime girl on it. See what
so
I'm saying?
Bad. Like, who cares about this?
I have done this indeed, but often my ex would do it by himself. This is about the she would make you mute girls in game point. And then when it comes to the she would make you not have any friends point, she says, I agree and disagree. What does that even mean? She then says, I indeed have an unhealthy obsession with JoJo, completely botching the spelling. but I have seen it and I'm currently reading it. Reading manga is hard for me with my ADHD. There's always an excuse, have you noticed? Then she said, I did read NSFW mangas of minors when I was 17, also a minor. I no longer consume such content. This was almost 4 years ago. Guys, it's all good. You can consume any underage NSFW content as long as you're under the age of 18. Like, once you reach 18, it's over. Real and true. She then argues that she doesn't get mad when her partner's performing good in a game and starts justifying why she's diamond in Valorant. Dude, I don't care. I genuinely don't care. Finally, she admits the fact that she botted followers on Instagram in the past and that Keija also botted followers on X. In fact, according to her, Keija was the person who introduced her to botting to begin with. And then, last thing I'll read in this section before I lose my mind, she says, I indeed said someone gifted me X Premium, but I have been paying it myself. I lied because I was embarrassed paying for a free platform, but now I have no problem admitting that. Oh my god. Okay. I don't care. We're skipping the rest of this section like we did in the first document because, guys, genuinely, it adds nothing to this whole situation. She then says, I hope this will give you insight on how much these two people crave to destroy me. It seems those who made this document put a lot of projection into it, accusing me of things they did themselves. Keija DM'd Lazar the day after we broke up. We haven't spoken in nearly a year, and here I thought he'd be over it already. Seems I'm not the only one who needs therapy. They even contacted past friends of mine, trying to get information out of them about me. 2 days ago, Lazar called the police on me. That's obviously a huge accusation, right? But no proof so far. She continues, I have genuinely been working on myself the past month and trying to create a healthier environment for myself. I just want all of this to be over, but they seem to be unable to move on. I am asking one last time, just let it go. I will continue taking a
there you
short
go.
break from
Just like Elsa, bro. Just let it go.
Ever. She then flips the script on them and says, I will now show some evidence of what I mentioned above.
Ruh-oh, Raggy. Ruh-oh.
She starts off with a section
things are about to get
Lazar
spicy.
saying that he was the one who was actually Sudoku baiting her, not her, attaching screenshots. There are actually multiple screenshots here, with the first one being DMs between Nabi and Lazar. It starts off with her saying, you're saying hurtful things, Lazar, with him saying, we broke up, I don't care, we are done, I will eradicate myself next, it doesn't matter anymore, nothing matters. She then says, you hurt me by saying those things, to which he replies, it doesn't matter. She says, I'm actually crying, and then he says, you don't want me anymore. In the next screenshot, we can see a blurred name, which is meant to be Lazar, and it's him talking by himself, DMing Nabi, saying, please, please, I'm crying. It won't stop. Please, baby. He calls her. She doesn't pick up. Then he continues, Nabi, please, I want to eradicate myself. I will overdose now. I love you and always
Don't let my parents find out it's because of us. Thank you. Take care. This is so ick. Oh, I hate this.
Don't let my parents find I died a fool are my last words. God, this is so cringe, man. This is cringe. These are just two unstable teenagers, bro. In the next screenshots, you can see some very interesting conversations with Lazar saying, I don't think so. Nabi saying, I stay true to loving you, but I won't chase what doesn't want to be chased. Lazar says, I wish I didn't call the police to save your life. I wish you the worst. Gracias. To which she replies with, okay. Then he says, now I sealed the ending and nothing will make up for what I said. I love you and I will also try to delete myself today. Don't interrupt. To which she says, I know you won't.
Dude.
Oh my god. He says, I'm numb. I don't care much about anything. And then she says, I know you won't try to delete yourself. What a healthy relationship, man. Truly, I'm so impressed. Then he says, I have tons of medicine at home. I have easy access. To which she replies with, I'm many things, but not an idiot, Lazar. He says, we will see. Then she says, I'm here for you if you feel like you need me. Bye. He says, I don't need anyone. Nobody can help me. Nobody will ever be able to truly understand me. She says, okay. To which she says, I hope you get wrecked again. Deadass, you are useless. You know what? Yeah, my theory from the beginning, yeah, it turned out to be true. I think everyone here is just terrible and they're trying to take each other down when in reality, they all deserve to be taken down. Oh my God, they're all horrible. Then she says, Lazar is transphobic. One time we had a huge argument that ended up with me having a panic attack because I confronted him about purposefully misgendering Hunter Schafer. I replied to a picture of her on Twitter and said something along the lines of she's so pretty, and then Lazar replied, he. I then proceeded to say he was being transphobic and he kept denying it, and he's also racist. He clearly is projecting and he knows this very well. He also often says the R word and the N word. See screenshot below. Oh boy. Here's a conversation between Nabi and Lazar, right? And he's saying, also when you are here, I can protect you better. I'm really scared that you live alone in a city full of and immigrants. Yeah, that's the N word. And then she says, Lazar is very toxic. He has said he hopes I get raped again, has blocked me for 24 hours because he just felt like it, etc. See screenshot below. In the first screenshot, we see DMs between Lazar and Nabi, with Lazar saying, just felt like being rude today, you pissed me off. With Nabi replying, okay, I'm sorry. Lazar then says, tomorrow at 1 p.m. I will unblock you, have fun and keep learning. She then says, whatever makes you happy.
Oh man, this is so weird.
Being without you makes
How old
me
are these
happy.
people?
And then it gets really weird. I mean, look, Lazar clearly has a lot of issues, man. It's actually unreal. In this conversation, you can see him say, I own you as I told you, I can do whatever I want with you, to which Nabi replies with, so you want to leak my nudes? He then replies with, if you block me and leave me, yes, I will. To which she says, I didn't plan on blocking you, but threatening to leak my nudes is crazy. To which Lazar says, I will ruin everything. Nabi says, what exactly is it that you want from me? And Lazar says, to make you the way I want you to be, even if I have to mentally abuse you for it or force you to be the way I want you to be.
It seems like she rolled bad 3 times with these guys now.
He says, I will destroy you mentally if it's needed. Even if you hate me, I will be your only option. Then she asks, what exactly do you want me to be? And then he replies with, my girl, my sex doll, and the person who brings my kids to this earth. You don't have to be their mother. I don't care, but
Are they freaking RPing right now? Who says shit like this? And if they are RPing, I don't know.
Oh my, I can't read this. That is way too
this is
cringe,
so weird,
bro. Yeah, this guy's actually a nutcase. And you know what? Even though
it
Nabi
feels like they're RPing. Who says this?
Make me think. Maybe the reason why Nabi deactivated her Twitter
like
account was because
role-playing.
Lazar called her out publicly, and she knew the fact that he was willing to leak her nudes if he wanted to. This is just a theory, of course, but maybe it also has to do with the fact that he's practically a borderline stalker, because yes, things do get worse. Nabi continues in the document and says, after I broke up with him, he continued to make new accounts on Twitter and TikTok to keep begging me to come back. He also said some serious things during this. Here you can see a conversation after they broke up with him saying, I went through a lot of troubles because of you. You took everything for granted. She says, I wanted to end things on normal terms. And then he said, I will destroy you like you destroyed me. To which she said, is that a threat? And then he said, I have multiple eyes. Yes. I really hope you take some pills again. But then that same guy ends up making multiple alts, bro. Listen, this right here, Lazzy wants Bunny. He made a TikTok alt, a Twitter alt, another TikTok alt, 3 different TikTok alts, one of them being unblock please, Bunny please. He was absolutely obsessed.
Yikes.
So again, not the most stable of people. And you're probably wondering right now, how does someone like Lazar even exist? Well, in the beginning of the video, I mentioned e-girls, but what I didn't mention were e-boys. They are their enablers. They give them money, they give them attention, they pretty much allow them to exist. An e-boy can't exist without e-girls, and e-girls can't exist without e-boys. They're a matchmake in hell. They're both unstable, have ridiculous expectations, and will never be in a loving, stable relationship. So does this mean that Nabi is innocent? Hell no. But it does mean that her exes did have a hand in the instability of the relationship. It wasn't just all on her. But that doesn't mean she didn't scam innocent people and overall do horrible things like cheating. Lazar is a nutcase, and I'm betting that the other exes weren't angels either. The right thing to do for her exes would have been to just move on or settle this privately. They were hoping to make this public, no doubt, to paint her as the villain, ruin her life, and be seen as the poor victims. But in reality, they just made themselves out to be clowns, and whoever actually bothered to read Nabi's document understands that no, actually, everyone sucks here. Everyone, no exception. So it doesn't really come as a surprise that not even a week after publishing the document
They deleted the doc?
Keisha decided to delete everything. He doesn't make mention of this at all on his profile. The same goes for Lazar. It could be because they realized how badly written it was, or because they did what they wanted to do. They damaged Nabi's career, and now they can just sit back and relax. Nabi, on the other hand, has not deleted her alt account or the document she posted, but she is attempting to do a full rebrand stealthily, changing her coffee account name from BunnyGirlNabi to Lisa, her TikTok account to the same name, her website as well, and of course her Twitter, which she reactivated but is currently privated. Is her career truly over though? Nah. I always mention this, but look, I mean, her demographic is mostly males, right? You know how many men like the idea of an online psycho girlfriend? Come on. In the end, this could ironically only stand to benefit her and her online cosplay career. And while it may seem that everyone involved here has room temperature IQ,
don't screw that.
we can still learn important lessons
I
from
don't want
this.
that.
This is proof that you should always listen to both sides of the story. Yes, Keisha and Lazar's document was written by a toddler. It was pretty damn bad, but still, many people were very quick to jump to conclusions without waiting for Nabi's side of the story, which shows us that no, actually, everyone sucks here. And to you, yes, you, the person watching the video right now,
Me?
you might have never been in a relationship before, you might have been in a few. But in the future, if you ever find yourself in a relationship that has signs, that has patterns, that are similar to the things you saw in this video in any way, shape, or form, you probably should run. Okay, let's be real here. Run, don't try to save it. This is not gonna work out. It'll end up like this or even worse. Anyway, thank you so much for watching until the end. I really appreciate it. I need to go cleanse my brain of the brain rot. So I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is. I love you so much. Mwah.
Did she call your friend? Does she know you have a girlfriend? There you go. Oh man, that was weird. Whatever, man. I legit just watched like high school drama. That was so weird.